Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How are we today? Are we good? Good. Fantastic. I think it's the end of your week. Yes. So you've got a flight day tomorrow, so it's relaxed for you. Fantastic. Unfortunately, it's not relaxed for me because today is basically the day that we've all been building up to. So this is going to be probably like the hardest thing that we do this week. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to construct a personal statement, the type of statement that you're going to make to all of your universities, whether you apply to the US, to Turkey, or to the UK. Does everyone understand? Yes. Fantastic. Now, the basis of it is firstly, what we covered, which was your personality. Secondly, what we covered, which was your professionalism, any work experiences, any things that you've done, any experience, like any experiences, even charitable experiences as we discussed as well. Thirdly is your academics, and then fourthly is kind of just like a summarization. Now, does everybody remember what the homework was? That's not everybody. Did everybody do the homework? Yeah, more or less? So can someone tell me what it was?
So
One second.
Sorry, I didn't write on it, but I left my paper, yeah.
That's okay, no problem. So we're actually going to do an exercise. So if you did your homework properly, it should be no problem. You don't have to write it down. Give me 2-3 seconds. I'll explain to you how we're going to do it, and then we're going to get into it. Fantastic. Okay, please, what was the homework?
So our homework was how to teach, how to give the idea, how to teach students in more funny way. So we want to present our idea.
Cool, fantastic. So basically, one of the most important things, in my opinion, is being able to share ideas, share academic concepts with your friends, coming up with easy and simple ways to teach yourself and to teach others. So can someone name just a couple of tactics, a couple of ideas that we might need, that we might be able to use to teach our friends? Please, David.
Use YouTube videos.
Fantastic.
We can read books with our friends.
Fantastic.
Ask adults about their experience.
Good. And then teaching. What are the ideas for teaching? Please.
To make it interesting class, like to play some games.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Use Wikipedia.
Yeah, okay. Use Wikipedia. Simple.
Do some presentation.
Do some presentations. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm not going to test you on your own homework. We're going to do a group exercise for 10 minutes just to start. You're going to pick a partner or a three, whichever works easiest for you. And you're going to teach them what your idea is. 5 minutes. And then people, we're going to test. I'm going to pick people at random. We're going to test to see if they can explain to me what their friend's idea was. Does everybody understand?
Yes.
Fantastic. Do you have the same idea? Do you have the same method for learning it? Doesn't matter. Okay, so I think these guys are up already. So these guys are going to explain to us what their idea was and how they're going to learn it. Everybody pay attention. Let's try and learn together.
Hi guys, so me, Ali Hussein, and
me, Karan, today we're going to present
our
life
idea.
hacks how to make the lesson funnier.
So, first of all, my idea it was to make jokes on the lesson, but not to be so funny. Be not so funny, but be strict actually.
Okay.
Okay, so make jokes. Like how it works. How teachers should do it, because for example like Miss Güler in our lesson always make jokes because of he makes us more she makes lesson more interesting because of jokes.
And the other way is just to make a lesson funnier by playing some games that refer to the topic or the subject. So, for example, our geography teacher, Miss Güler, always every lesson plays some games with us so that we can remember the information and the keywords.
So, hang the papers around the room.
Okay.
So, I can again give example of Miss Roberts, our biology teacher. So, they hang the papers around the room. So, why you should do it? Because, for example, if you didn't get what teacher said, you can look around the class and you can see the same papers.
So she will stick them to the board?
No, around the
room.
yeah.
And then this helps you because it's visual learning.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So that's also something that you guys can do when you're at home. I found it very helpful in A-levels. I used to, draw some graphs. I used to put it on my bedroom wall. If I'm sleeping or if I'm relaxing, I'm just looking at the graph. And then sometimes, if I'm lucky, when I'm in the exam, I remember. I remember what I was looking at. I remember the picture. Does everyone understand that?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And then also the teacher can give some books or interesting fields that refer to the topic. as a homework. So for example, our history teacher once gave us to read a book Animal Farm and to watch a film to find out more about Hitler and about the Nazi party.
Okay.
And last my idea, practice and give some examples. So how it works. For example, you are on chemistry lesson and you, for example, learn the kalium permanganate. You should have some examples to how it works. So that's our idea. How, for example, you can give teacher can give you examples how it works to know actually on exam, to remember it and find the right formula.
Fantastic.
And the last way is just to make quizzes and quiz prizes so that everyone would be involved, because everyone wants to gain some prizes like chocolate.
Okay, so you will do prizes for your friends? Wow, guys, everybody learn with this guy. He's going to bring in chocolate and prizes for you. Fantastic.
Maybe
Generous guy, lovely. Thank you guys, you can sit down. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You guys next? Yeah? Next. After these guys. You guys go next, yeah? Okay guys, so everybody, loud and clear voices. What is it that you were learning? Whose idea was it? And what was the method for learning it, please?
My name is LANDAU.
Guys, listen to your classmates there. Respect their ideas, please.
My name is LANDAU and it's my friend. And we will present how to build lessons interesting.
Do lots of interesting activities that keep the children active, so the children will not be bored.
Yes, watch educational videos on YouTube, so the children will have interest to listen and to remember things.
Do interesting presentations with games and quizzes.
Speak less and give the opportunity to children to speak, so they can introduce.
Have fun, but listen to the teacher.
Good. Well done, guys. Thank you. Guys, would you like to come? You can come together. Don't worry. Yeah, do it together. Yeah. So guys, the main focus of the class was, as well as to like understand learning processes, it was to have an idea and to work out how to share that idea with your class. So find the game, find the method of sharing an idea. So guys, what idea have you got for us?
Actually, I know one interesting game to work with your friends. In the game, there are 4 people.
Can everyone hear him? Can everyone hear him? So they're going to explain to you a game that you can play with your friends in order to learn something. Please, loud one.
In the game, there are 4 people. If you want, you can add more people. The game starts when the first person says run the word, and the word has to be subject. After him, second person must immediately say run the word that has to be a subject also. The game ends with someone of players fails to say or a word quickly, or repeat the word that was already said.
Okay, so it's a game. People say the word, and then if they remember it, they have to repeat it back to your friend. So it's to learn languages?
No, words. To learn words.
Words in new languages or just like vocabulary?
Yeah, vocabulary.
Okay, that's cool. That's a nice idea. I like that. So you play it in 3s and 4s?
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's really good. That's a perfect example. Please, yeah, give it a clap. Yeah. If you want, last people, yeah. There's one more after this and then that's it. Okay, so hopefully you understand the class.
Yes, we will be talking about what Layla taught us.
So I'll tell you what, I'll let Layla say the idea and then you guys say how she taught it and whether or not she was a good teacher. Okay, fantastic. Guys, everybody listen up. So Layla is going to explain to us her idea and then we're going to find out how she taught it and how we're going to learn it from her friends. Fantastic.
My idea was I was explaining to my friends about stars and the different types of stars, and then how black holes are created, and a little bit about Einstein's theory of relativity.
Wow. Learning a lot today. Fantastic. Now, how did she explain that to you guys?
She started off with a good hook, like, it was very, she just gave short sentences, like, he said nothing matters, like, Einstein came and said this, and that happened, so that was very interesting,
This
and
is
then
good.
she started talking about, like, the fabric of the universe and making it easier for us to understand.
She would talk about the universe as a giant clock, so it would be easier to.
Great.
Well, the way she told us how black holes. Oh, I'm so sorry. Black holes form is. She was like.
There's a
Yeah,
bit
so-
of the clock,
Uh-huh.
it just keeps on expanding.
That's fantastic. Lovely. So guys, does anybody know what that technique is called? It's a technique for teaching. It begins with an M. Fantastic, it's a metaphor. Now, metaphors are when you say that something is something else so that people can grip the idea a little bit better, so that they can explain it and have a memorable story to tell. Fantastic. Please continue.
So she also told us about a little bit of history, like how there was a scientific practice that everything is finalized in the
Layla came
end.
and gave a whole lesson. Amazing.
So it was like back and forth with everything.
Uh-huh.
She just went on talking about stars and how big stars can be and how
Fantastic.
much they last.
Okay, this is a really great example. Fantastic. Well done, guys. Give me a round of applause. So, this is a fantastic example because this is exactly what I wanted you guys to do. Essentially, we take a topic that we like. Layla, I know this is Layla because she likes astrophysics, she likes stars. So she's going to then explain to her friends how does that work and what's a cool way for us to learn it. Yeah? Fantastic. Now, when I leave, what I would like to hear from Mr. Leslie, from Mr. Adams, etc., is that you're working with each other, you know? Maybe if one of your friends, they've forgotten what to do before a test, maybe you can give them a little metaphor, a little easy way of learning it, some tests, some games, play some word games like our friends here, yeah? Fantastic. Here's last group in the back, come explain your idea. I think it's 5 people.
It's 6.
Okay, wow, so it's 6 people. I'm interested to see why so many and what we're going to be doing. Come on.
So my friends.
Oh, only 3?
And also 3 will come another time.
Okay, no problem. Please, everybody, big loud voices. What are we doing for the class today?
Okay, Amalia's method is about the history. So if she just make a plan or the chronological chain and just learned by this method. Like and it's easier to learn by heart.
Okay.
Like, the dates and the facts.
Okay, so essentially they're saying that, are you going to write it down? So write it down in chronological order, and then you will learn it by rote?
Yes.
Hey, this is simple, this is clever, alright? So what we're going to do is people write down the idea, especially if it's a period of history, and what they'll do is they'll write kind of like a mind map, a little bit similar to this one.
What?
So is it like a bit like a map? So you have maybe a circle, some information?
I'm not
Yes.
Arrow?
just
Yes,
you read like notes, many
No.
notes to remember.
Yeah, like facts
Uh-huh.
in one way and then diagrams with these facts.
This is good. This is fantastic. So guys, we need to be taking an active step in our learning. What were we talking about yesterday as well? Learning on the offense. Learning on the offense means if your teacher, maybe your teacher teaches verbally, so they explain things by their mouth. But what we're talking about here is writing things down, chronological order. What you can do is someone's telling you about some history, maybe you're watching a video. You can make notes on that period of history. You need to contextualize it, understand how it works, and explain it to your friends, explain it to yourself. Does this all make sense?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Lovely. So, please sit down. That's great. You not good?
No.
Okay, come back. You're not good. Please.
Jamal's method is like for maths. He advised to put timer, for example, 15 exercise and 10 minutes for them. So it will be quicker to finish the maths. And
Okay,
Like
fantastic.
I put the stopwatch
Mm-hmm.
and for 10 minutes,
Mhm.
and in 10 minutes I'm doing like, for example, 20 exercises,
Uh-huh.
and for next time I will do these exercises faster.
I love this. Okay, so what's good about this, guys? Tell me, what's good about this, please?
You time yourself and see how much time it takes you to.
Write down one good subject, one bad subject, a career option, and a necessary subject, and then one learning method that you've either learned today or that you took home yesterday. So it could be metaphor, it could be stopwatch, it could be making notes, whatever it is. This is just a quick exercise just to summarize our learning on this. And then when you guys take this away, what I'd like you to do is write down the different learning methods that you've done and really specifically write down your results. Because there's no point in me saying, oh, go and learn these methods, and you go away, you try it, and it's like, yeah, this was fun, but you don't remember. Did you get an A with this result? Did this result improve your grade? Was this a good way that your teacher said, yeah, you really understand this topic, yeah? Fantastic. Can I have some helpers? Can I pass it down? Maybe actually you can just take one and you can pass one, yeah? So it's clear because you can, it's quick as you can. Lovely. So fill out the sheets as soon as you get it. Unlucky for you guys. You guys made it last, but it's okay. Yeah. You can always get me from Integrity Education. So on the top floor, if you ask Raina, if you have any questions for me, then you can, I have an email with them, I don't know it, but I have an email with them, and they'll send it to me, yeah?
You should just write one subject, yeah?
Yeah, one. One subject good, one subject bad, one career that you're interested in, one subject you have to do for the career. It could be the same as your good subject, that's fine. And then some learning methods.
What do you mean by best subject? You mean the
Oh, you just don't like it. Yeah, you maybe oh, you're bad at it, you know? Maybe you try hard but you only get C, you know, you don't like it so much. Is everybody happy with the academic sheet? Yeah? Fantastic. We're going to move on. What we're going to move on to, as I said, really quickly, we're going to touch on personal statements. Now, I'm going to need you guys to focus as much as possible because I found some really good ones for you. Now, this isn't so fun, this isn't like so much like a game, but it's really important. And this is what our whole week's been working up to. Does everyone understand?
Yes.
Fantastic.
What's career options?
Sorry, so a career option is any job that you might do in the future, and a necessary subject is a job that is a subject you need to take for that job. So guys, I'll give you 30 seconds just to finish off with your sheet, and then we're going to start this, okay?
What if I don't have like learning methods?
That's what we were just doing. Oh, that's a learning method. Reading is a learning method. That's fine. But you should have learned today more learning methods. So a metaphor from Layla. So a game from other guys, you know? These are learning methods. They're taking different notes. Watching a video in a language with the subtitles on. These are learning methods. Well done. So mark scheme reading, which is important as well, is a specific type of reading. It means when you check the answers from the exam board and you see how do they want me to explain the subject. Yeah, does that make sense? And why was it important to do mark scheme reading? Anyone? Why was it important to do the mark scheme reading? Anyone? Please.
Because for specifications like IGCSE or A-levels, you need to know the exact answer to the question they're asking.
Thank you. Well done. Fantastic. Okay, guys, everyone finishes the worksheet. Put it down. We're done with academic for now. Until your next lesson, unfortunately. Huh? Okay. No, this is my last one. No, it's fine.
And you're like, yes!
No, I really like you guys, but it's like, it's enough, you know? We've done everything we need to do, and then you guys can go back, you can do the subject. It's fantastic. But I'll probably come back maybe next year or maybe later in the year to work on some other things. So you'll see my annoying voice again, huh? Okay, so what we've been doing this week, guys, we've been doing 4 parts for one plan. First thing that we did, second thing, fantastic. It was actually the third thing. The second thing was professional, but the order we're doing it in today is personal, social, academic. So, personal, social, who are you to the world? This is really what we're trying to figure out, what we're trying to work out. Professional is where do you want to work? I don't know why that's not finished. Extracurriculars is sports and charity. Now, when you do a personal statement, actually first, does everybody know what a personal statement is? Everybody? No, we don't know. Can maybe one of our classmates explain to us what a personal statement is? Yeah, please.
Maybe information of yourself. For example, what you can do, what you can't do.
CV.
Is this, yeah, a CV is like kind of like a personal statement. So when you apply for universities, you will give a CV. You'll give an explanation of your extracurricular activities. But what specifically is a personal statement, guys? Go on, Layla.
It's an essay where you write about yourself and you present yourself to the university that you're applying to.
Fantastic.
Or jobs, maybe.
Yeah. So does everyone say it? Layla, in fact, stand up please. Say this again, really loudly. Everybody listen because we didn't know what personal statement is and it's probably the most important document that you'll do in your young lives, please.
A personal statement is when you write about yourself and you present yourself to the university that you're trying to apply to.
Okay, fantastic. Now, this whole week, we've been working towards being able to do a sensible personal statement. So, the first part of the personal statement is your introduction, your main explanation, and your origins of interest. This basically explains to the university, why do you want to study this subject? So, for example, Layla, again, I'm picking on you. You want to study physics. Astrophysics specifically. Why?
Because it's something I'm passionate about.
Why are you passionate about it?
Because that sphere is not as developed as it should be. And there's a lot of information that I would like to find out
Fantastic.
about the university's mechanism.
Now, you made one mistake in terms of personal statements. Now, this is only for advanced, candidates' personal statements. Don't say, I'm passionate about something. Prove it. Say what it is that you've done to demonstrate that you're passionate about something. Maybe there's some charity about physics. Maybe there's some ways that you can teach other children about physics. Maybe there's some ways that you can write about physics in your student newspaper. And what you should say is, I think that people are not studying this subject enough and that the field needs to be more developed for the betterment of humanity. You understand? So, or introduction, main point of interest. Now we need to explain and substantiate that interest with books, things you've done, and articles that impacted you. Is everyone keeping up? Is everyone understanding this? Yeah? Now, what kind of things does that mean? Guys, tell me. So, again, we'll stick with Layla. So, Layla's done astrophysics. Maybe she's read a book about astrophysics, and she takes an idea from that book. Now, what does she do with this idea? Does she just write down, I read this book? Is this it? Is this good enough?
No.
If you're interviewing people for a university, and they say, I read a book, are you going to be impressed?
No.
No, of course not. What do you want to see from them, please?
Maybe she can describe the book.
Well done. Sure.
She could reference a specific line and say, this is what really inspired me, this is what made me think that this is the career path I want to do.
Fantastic. Last one, please.
She should say the main idea of the book and what's about.
Really well done. That's exactly what we want to be doing. And just last one. Yeah.
Yes. She can write the list of things that she learned from.
Fantastic. Now, the really cool thing, if you remember something from today, please remember this. What you want to look like to universities is well considered and planned as an individual. So what you want is that all of your experiences, your charities, your ideas, and your book, they tell a story about you. And that they really help the university understand, who are you? Who is this person? And why do we want this person at our university? Now, what that means is that when you're doing this academic stuff, I call this the meat of your personal statement. Because you have the first line, is basically introductory. You have your last line, which is basically, please accept me in this university. It's just a quick summarization. But the meat of it is the academics, it's the ideas. Now what you need to be saying is, these are some books, this is the idea that I took. After this book, I didn't like this idea, or I did like this idea, and I moved on to this idea. After I handled this idea from the video or from the blog, I realized that actually this isn't so important, and I decided to take myself practically to do this work experience. You see, you understand? We're connecting the dots, we're making sure that everything makes sense, and that you're looking like a considered individual. Now, obviously I know how life works. Not every time are we thinking, are we planning, are we scheming on our things, but it's important to show the university that your story makes sense. Please, Leila.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
What if I'm passionate about recycling and the environment, but I'm going into, for example, engineering?
Okay, this is really good. So essentially, that means that recycling in the environment as an extra part of your candidacy. So when you're doing your academic, the meat of your subject, you want to focus on the course, and then afterwards you want to say, I've had experience within blah, 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 blah. And the best experiences that you can talk about, if they're separate, are ones with shared skills. So for example, you're studying astrophysics, but this is still a science-based subject, it's still a mathematical-based subject, and it's important knowledge for engineering. Sorry, for the environment, you know? You have similar skills. So you're still passionate about this as your hobby. You can always put, so for example, on my personal statement, I think I put, I'm interested in economics, blah, 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 but I work a lot with children, and I like education. So like, I like teaching, I like these type of things. They're completely separate, but you still need teachers for economics, you know? So it can still be connected, it can still make sense, and this is important. Good question. So then, those are usually 3 short paragraphs. And then we've got languages, or we've got extra academic points. Does everyone understand that? Everyone can see? And then we've got extracurriculars or summary sentences. So this is your structure for your personal statement, yeah? Okay, now what we're going to do is we have some examples of personal statements, and we're going to go through them with the class, and we're going to start thinking, are they good, are they bad? What about them is decent? Good morning. And this it just says statement sandwich. So we want a nice, soft introduction, introduce ourselves, introduce our candidacy. What are we about? What's our issues? The last bit, conclusion, really simple. So for example, young man in the corner, you want to be a doctor? You want to be a doctor? So your introduction, what would it be?
My introduction.
Yeah, so why do you want to be a doctor? Why are you interested?
Because I like to help people.
Fantastic, that's a good one. That's a good introduction. You like being helpful. You want to serve, you want to support people. And then you'll explain that with some verbs, some experiences.
Also, when I like to help people, I get pleasure.
Really good, it's rewarding. It's fulfilling. Do we enjoy what we do? Do we like it? Is it something that gives us a nice feeling? Do we feel good about ourselves? Important, this is fantastic. Alright, so I think everybody understands this. And now what we're going to do, we're going to just look at a couple of exemplars, and then before we go, we're going to fill in our own version of a personal statement. Mr. Adam, can you help me out just for fun? Could you hand that out? Thank you very much. One per person. Yeah, one per person. So guys, pay attention. This is a personal statement for somebody, in fact, this was the first person I know who I helped from Azerbaijan to get into Cambridge University. So she was applying for a social political science course. And she was very good, she's very intelligent, she got, I think, some of the best grades she did, and then she did an IB, and she got, I think it was 38 on an IB, which is quite a high score. She came to us, she was struggling to kind of, you know, make her story connect, and we worked with her to make sure that everything makes sense. So guys, please can we read this, have a think about it, tell me what you think is good, tell me what you think she's done well, and tell me, has she included personality, academics, experiences, what has she done? This is just a sentence of it, please. I'll give you a minute to read it. Does everybody, I mean, I'm not expecting you guys to know these words, by the way, like some of these words are really big. Is there any words that anyone wants me to explain quickly? Engendered, it means put something inside. So you've given something to somebody. So if so where she's grown up has given her a deep historic curiosity. So, someone explain to me, what's she saying? Anyone, explain to me, what is she saying, please?
She's saying that while she was growing up in Azerbaijan, which is a post-Soviet state, she was very interested through what the people of the past have gone through.
So, the first sentence, the EPQ developed my interest in contrasting theory, which led to consequent further explanation, such as Dr. Amy Butler's lecture on what Hayek would do and Hayek's book Road to Serfdom. What have I done then? Please.
You have referenced something that you read, and you didn't like summarize it, but you just said why it inspired inspired, well, not inspired, but why you read it and...
Alright, So we need to be connecting our dots. Please remember this. When you're doing academia, don't just write down, I did computer science, then I did some maths, and I like some languages. This isn't good enough. We have to start handling ideas in a mature and sensible way. So, I developed an interest in contrasting theories, in comparing things. And then I started continuing to try and understand that by picking specific books and going to specific lectures. Now I told a little lie in this lie. What do you think the lie was?
I was shocked by the recent disagreements.
No, I was pretty shocked. This guy seemed crazy at the lecture. Mainly because he was doing something. Do you think I went to the lecture? No, I didn't go to the lecture. Where was the lecture? On YouTube, of course, I told you. Can someone say, do they know whether or not you've gone to the lecture or you've gone and watched it on YouTube? They're not going to know. They're not going to know. Your university friends are not going to know. And it makes you just look a little bit more advanced. So obviously, don't say that you attended something that was filmed in 1975, of course. But you can say things like, look, I went to a lecture or I did this thing, and it makes you look like you're a little bit more active, like you care about your subject. Because they know anyone can watch a YouTube video, but not everybody's going to go to something. Please, let's continue reading this really quickly, and then, yeah, we're going to move on from that. So I was shocked by the disagreement. I was interested to see the maths. So instead of just saying, I like maths as well, I've said I was interested to see how somebody else has used maths. Does this make sense? So you might like maths. You might be doing astrophysics. You might then say, it's interesting how they use graphs to understand the projectiles, the movement of stars, the movement of different things. You like how this uses your mathematical skills. This is exactly what you want to be doing. You want to be showing that for the course that you're applying to, you understand and you appreciate the skill set on offer. Yeah? Fantastic. Now this is the last one that we're going to do. I call this Azari Me, because this is from our Azerbaijani candidate. I like your meat as well, it's very good. So read this through and tell me what you guys think of this. What do you understand of it?
Is it your friends?
Not really my friend, but somebody that I know. They're a bit younger than me. But yeah, this one got into Imperial University, and this was also used for a statement for MIT. So this is again a very, very high standard. Tell me, put your hand up when you finish reading that, please. Somebody who's finished reading, can they tell me one good idea or a good thing that they've expressed within this personal statement, please? Is it just you?
They talked about their favorite director, or just the director in general that they watch.
Why is this good?
Because it shows that their interest goes beyond what they're saying.
Also, what else is good about it?
I like how he started off with like fluent in English, Russian, and Azeri. Like it shows that like he already knows like a bunch of languages, but then he improved it later on with French and other languages.
Just to go back, sorry, that was a good point. But just to go back to Leila's point, what was good about talking about a film and the direction? What's good about that? If I tell you that I read War and Peace, and when I was 17, I say I read War and Peace, what do you think of this?
It shows you in a sophisticated way.
Kind of, but also, is it realistic?
Yeah,
It's a big book, it's a very big book, but what's more realistic? Watching the TV show? Watching the film? Do you think universities care that much? Because this isn't an academic point. This is just a point of cultural interest. So it's honest. She's saying, this is a film that I've watched. This is a film that I like. It's believable. I can imagine, okay, so you like this film, fantastic. So you started with the film, and then you started looking into more literature, more industry, you continued. So this was your starting point, and it's a believable, it's an accessible starting point. Maybe War and Peace is a bad example, because maybe you can read War and Peace. Me personally, I couldn't read War and Peace. This book was lasting for like 70 days, like some kind of Quran or Bible, and I had to stop. So I thought maybe it's a little bit unrealistic for 15, 16-year-olds to read War and Peace. But she's read a good book, and then she's continued. Now, what else is a good point? What else has she done well? Please.
She talks about the French do competition, like
Yeah,
competition. She
yeah.
This would shows her passion.
Well done. So I spoke later, and also I've created some lists as well that I'm going to give to your teachers of different things that you can get involved with, different competitions, different academic essay competitions as well that you can get involved in, and computer science ones too. Now, what's impressive about that? We've spoken about it before, but what's impressive about doing a competition, being involved in something?
It's like experience and you
Well
can
done.
show.
Proof. It's proof. What did we say right at the beginning when Layla said her first sentence?
I have to prove that I like it, not just say it.
Exactly. If you say, I'm passionate about this, what do you think anyone applying to a subject can say?
I'm passionate.
Anyone can say this. It doesn't cost you a sweat, it doesn't cost you a smile to say, I'm passionate about something. What it does cost you to do is actually go and do something. You know, go and participate in a competition. No one forced you to participate in a competition. And do you know what else is good about participating in competitions? It's not your school. They don't know if it's your parents. This could be entirely yourself, and it's impressive. It shows energy, it shows enthusiasm, and this is what we want to see. Okay. Is everyone happy with this now? Also, one other good thing, she spoke about her travels. This is very valid. Yeah, please.
So he travels and improve her language. Like he goes to the Paris, Nice, and some French villages. So it's interesting. He like travels and gets more information from another countries.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. So they've gone on holiday, and on their holiday, they've gone to a couple of different places, and they've tried to learn a little bit more. They've tried to extend themselves. Now, when you do things like your extracurriculars and stuff like this, taking a holiday in America is great. Because what you can say is, hey, I'm applying to American University, and I've been to New York, I had a really nice time, the culture was nice, and now I would like to study here. This is fine, this is really good. This is showing that you're not just going on places, having a fun time, I'm at the beach. You're actually thinking about things, you're thinking about life, and you're connecting the dots. Everyone understand?
Yeah.
Hold on. So this is a little bit longer, so what they've done, they've continued. They've spoken about some experiences that they've done. I'd like you only to read the second sentence, from where it says here. Sorry about that. It says here.
There was one like colors and industry of France and Azerbaijan. It's like friendship between the
Yeah. So it's financial friendship. So it's an office that organises trade between France and Azerbaijan. It's actually mainly focused on Azeri wine. We have some nice wines and stuff in this country that they sell in France as well. So essentially what you said, here I was charged with making notes, translating documentation, and presenting summaries at the beginning of meetings with French clientele. Now this is a charitable organisation, Chamber of Commerce and Industry. It's just something that is created to promote ties between two countries by some Azerbaijani people who now live in France. Now what happened was this girl came to us and she said that she didn't have any work experience, and we knew somebody who was working there. She happened to be visiting. Really simple. She worked at the office for a couple of days and she just translated some documents. She helped out. So this is her charitable experience. But look how good it looks on the CV. This is showing that look, she's making notes. She can translate documentation. She presented summaries at the beginning. This is all true. And it was easy for her to organise this, and it looks good on her thing. So you could maybe go to your parents' office, you could maybe go to like something, you could ask one of us, is there anything interesting for me? And this is the exact type of thing that we like to do. Okay, so what we're going to do now is look at a little bit of extra bits. We're going to do this really quickly. What's she saying here, or this person? You can tell from the first sentence, shout it out when you know.
Hobbies?
Hobby, hold on, yeah. So people care as well. You know why do universities care about your hobbies?
Because they should know what are you good at.
Yeah. Please.
They show what they're interested.
1 second, please.
It shows that you
No.
can make more than like just your job.
Good. Please, Mother.
They show
Sorry, Jerome. I was pointing to.
They show what they are interested in.
They see how universal are you. Like,
Good word, universal.
They shape you.
Yeah,
I
good.
would say.
when you get into university, they want you to do something there.
Fantastic. Because universities, are they just lecture halls? No, they have clubs, they have football teams, they have different sports, different societies, debate teams. So they want to know, what do you already like? And maybe they want their teams to be good. So if they know that there's somebody who's a really good debater, you want to tell them this. And also, a lot of extracurriculars, what do they show? What do they show about you? And think about really carefully, personality. If you've done ice skating, or you've played the piano, or you've done something, what does that say about your personality?
This person is great.
Culture, good. Say again?
That's not sports.
Sporty, good. Think of a characteristic. If I tell you, when I was younger, I played football and I played for a professional youth team. What does that tell you about me?
And they're not lazy.
That I'm not lazy. Keep going with that.
You're a good football player.
Yeah, this is interesting, people, but they don't care so much. Am I a good football player?
You know how teamwork.
Teamwork. Fantastic. So I've done something with other people. I'm social. I can get results with other people. And there's one other thing that it tells you. You kind of got onto it later when you said hard work.
Basically, you don't just stay at home and watch Netflix all day. You actually go out and
You do some things, okay. And you're enthusiastic, and the last thing is, you're disciplined. You're disciplined. When you go to university, do you think your moms are going to rub your face and wake you up in the morning? No. Do you think someone's going to come in and give it to you easily? No, of course not. It's an independent thing. Now, if you've been able to, without school, without something else, do something for 5 or 6 years, it shows that you're dedicated. It shows that you're disciplined. It shows, hey, you know what? This person, they're good at stuff, and they can actually do it for a long time. University, especially, I hear some people want to study medicine, some people want to study astrophysics. These careers are 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. What that's saying is that he's working hard. Sometimes he's stressed, but he's doing something about it. He's not just sitting at home, as you say, crying, watching Netflix, doing these things. He's being productive, yeah? He's doing something positive, and this is really important. This is really good. Fourth thing? It wasn't a personal attack. Please, fourth thing?
I would say it shows the person's interest in medicine and all, because it says, presently I find caring and aiding vulnerable citizens.
Fantastic. Now, there's one more thing that's really important that we've been speaking about. You spoke about it a little bit yesterday. You speak about charity, different things, leadership. What's the thing that he's done here that's really important?
Like he worked, he had experience.
Yeah. Which one? Show me, tell me. What did he do?
He volunteering.
Does everyone know what an Olympiad is?
Yeah.
It's a competition. So if you're the chairman of your school's Olympiad, what's that saying? What's that telling universities? And also, yeah, okay, competitive. Also, yeah, okay, you're the best, you're competitive, yeah. But it's showing you're organized. You're a leader.
You are mentally strong.
Yeah, you're mentally strong. Leadership capabilities. Somewhere in your essay, in your personal statement, show that you're not just somebody who sits in the back of class and doesn't really do very much. Show that you're somebody who, if it depends on you, you can be counted on, you can show leadership. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to make our own. Now, this one, personal statement, can you fill it out in pencil? Because, why are we going to fill it out in pencil? Yeah, we can change it. I want you guys to keep this, and every so often, when your things are changing, when you're continuing.
Oh, I gave it over?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I didn't want to waste your time. You got one?
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, listen very carefully, because I don't want you to mess this up, and I want you to go to a break afterwards when this is finished. So with your personality, it says here, who are you, what motivates you? You can take this directly from the first day that we did, yeah? Who are you? What do you stand for? Are you helpful? Are you kind? Are you interested? Academics, books, blogs, and ideas. What books have you read? What books are you interested in? If you haven't got any now, don't worry about it. You can go home, you can fill it in. Professional experiences, what do you learn? Now, a professional experience can be a charity, it can be something that you've led, that you've done in school. It still means that you're organising, you're not just participating. Extracurricular activities for such charity work as well. So this is a sport, this is something that you've done, this is something maybe debate society, is extracurricular, outside of the classroom, and then a summary sentence. The summary sentence is always basically saying, look, because of all of this, I'm passionate about or I'm interested in studying this topic at university, and that's it. So guys, please can we fill this out? I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I'm going to come and talk to everybody and see what your ideas are. I'll come and answer questions at the table, and then we can go to our break, yeah? Fantastic, well done. So a summary is just a line, a quick sentence, and it's going to say, overall, I'm hardworking, I'm interested in this subject, and having learned something from this work, I would like to go to university in the future. That's all the summary is. It's just a very simple roundup. And then when you're finished, I think we've run over time a little bit, but yeah, we're going to listen maybe to one person if they want to read theirs out, a couple people, and then we're going to go. It's finishing with me now. Yeah. Okay, guys, so should we hear from some of our friends? Yeah? No? Not yet? Are we finished? Good. Okay, let's just hear only from a couple because we've not got much time. So can you read it out as quickly as you can, please? You go first. Yeah.
So, personality. So, who are you? What motivates you? I'm a student, wants to be soldier. I'm motivating with that, think that in the future I can become one of the best dentists and I can help people.
Good.
So,
Academics?
academic.
Yeah.
So, who am I? I'm amicable and well organized.
Good.
Academic. So, biology. What I did was read some biology,
Well
encyclopedias. Professional experiences. I won in French competitions around Azerbaijan and won first place.
Well this is good. Competitions, guys. Remember? Good.
Some volunteer hours with my uncle and grandfather in her clinic, in their clinics. Extracurricular activities, charity work, help to blind and almost deaf people.
Wow, hold on.
Summary, I want to study in England in Kings.
Good. Well done. Really well done. That's a great example. Anyone from this side? This side started off really well. Little competition. Who from this side wants to do? Please, stand up. Loud boys, you worked hard this week. Show us what you've done.
So my personality, I would say I'm quite a curious person who asks questions randomly. My teachers would most probably agree. I mean, they would agree. So I have noticed that some questions really do not have answers. So I really want to be someone who wants to find those answers.
Good. That's your motivation, yeah? You want to, that's your motivation to be advanced. That's your motivation. You want to learn things, you want to solve some of society's problems.
When you said I want to solve a few problems in society, quite precisely, I really want to see the environment as a better place.
Well done.
I've always wanted to see trees around more often. And in terms of academics, I would say I read a lot of books. I am a true bookworm.
Good.
And I know quite a few languages. I wouldn't say I'm fluent in all of them, but I can write 2 languages, English and Hindi. And Azeri and Russian too, but I wouldn't say I specifically write. And German.
Wow.
I read a few life stories, I would say biographies, but shorter ones online. And I have a couple of fact books that help me out to work through. Professional experiences, I've been to Science and Maths Olympiads this January and February.
Well done.
It showed me how to be competitive, and it showed me how there's many people that you can learn from. In my extracurricular activities and charity works, I volunteer every Christmas for the Christmas Bazaar by the International Women's Club.
Well done. Good.
I go to the dance club. I started this year. I sing sometimes. Well, I've not been to competitions a lot, and I'm a yellow belt in Taekwondo.
Wow, so this is a brilliant personal statement. I think the thing that we have to remember as well is don't forget things. When you have to do a personal statement, remember there's 4,000 characters. Now you've said so many fantastic things, charities, taekwondo, sports, languages, and what you want to make sure that you're doing is you're fitting that in, but you're explaining your environmental story. You understand? So what your challenge will be, and the thing is, you got to remember, you guys at Landau, you guys at Sweet, you've actually been brilliant. I think you're really intelligent, really good students, and you do a lot of things. Some kids, they're struggling to even fit in the 3 paragraphs. They don't have anything. They've not gone to any classes. They've never volunteered. For you guys, the challenge is different. For you guys, you need to work on how to break these things down, how to explain them properly. Do you understand? Yeah. Great. Give her a round of applause. Okay, guys, one more person. Who wants to be the last person to come up and to say their story? One more person. One more. You want it? You want it? One more, last one. Make it a good one. Who wants to do it? Who wants to do it? Please. Lovely.
Personally, I'm hard worker, sporty, and I'm responsible. I'm very friendly.
Guys, listen. This is the last one. Let's just focus. Listen up.
What motivates me? My parents and my friends always motivate me, and they motivated me to start to solve Rubik's Cube. That's why it's my hobby now.
Cool.
My academics. I don't like reading books. But
Okay, pause there. Just for 1 second. Guys, I don't like reading. It's true, I really don't like reading. My favourite medium is probably looking at videos. I only read when I have to. But at university, you have to do reading. So on your personal statement, don't literally tell them that you don't like reading. What you can do is you can maybe just like hint, you can use other things, you can use other sources, you can say I went to a lecture, I watched a video, I did a competition. But if you explicitly say you don't like something that they're going to encourage you and they're going to make you do, it's not going to look good. They're going to think, well, why are you coming to university? It's okay to be honest, but don't be too honest. Put yourself in a good light. Please continue.
I don't like. I read some books like Romeo and Juliet, Robinson Crusoe, and I read all parts of the Harry Potter. Yes.
Well done. All parts.
Yeah.
Amazing. Fantastic. Continue.
My professional experience. My uncle is a diplomat, so I want to be like him. He's responsible and he's hard worker.
Good.
And he knows a lot of foreign language and he travels.
Oh, fantastic.
Extracurricular activities. I did jiu-jitsu, but I didn't finish learning things. And I finished with orange belt.
Okay.
The sport which I'm still learning is table tennis, and I'm visiting the baseball.
Okay, fantastic. So you don't have to say that you didn't finish learning jiu-jitsu. Like, it's not compulsory to have a black belt. You can just say, I did some jiu-jitsu. Also, when you said, a really good point that you said was that your uncle is a diplomat and that's what you're focused on. And the reason this was really good is because he's understood the lifestyle of a job. He's shown that I know what a diplomat does, they need to know some other languages, and they help and they benefit from traveling and these type of things. So when you say, oh, I want to become a dentist, you say, because they have to help people and they have to learn how to communicate. Diplomat, I want to learn different languages, I want to travel the world. Thank you very much. That was really good. Give a round of applause. Sorry guys, I think I've stolen some of your break, so we stayed a long time. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you for all your hard work this week. Maybe do this one.
Thank you.